This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
I don't know. Why would they sit there and watch us talk into microphones and look at each other and look at your faces that you give me sometimes?
And co-host Marnie Winfield.
In situations like that, if you take the time to weigh the pros and cons of your involvement in something, I think this is across the board with a lot of things in life. You know, does it make sense for me and my world?
It is the 21st of October, 2022. My name's Corey Winfield.
My name's Marnie Winfield.
Who? Huh? Marnie, I'm so happy you're on the podcast.
Thank you.
It's been forever, it seems like. When's the last time you did one?
Last Saturday.
Oh. Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we played the intimacy game. That's right. I remembered. I was just testing you. It just seems like forever, but we haven't really done a podcast in forever. I did a podcast with Adam the other day. Adam Brothers, they are starting a new podcast called the Stone Soup Recovery Podcast. And I did not even ask him what the hell that means. He's Adam.
You don't know the story of Stone Soup?
No.
You should look it up.
He's Adam.
It's a good
you know it?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
I know the gist of it.
Okay, well, tell me.
Oh, man. I got to recall.
I wish I knew because then I could use
All
my
right.
story.
Something about a poor man is like talking to, he has absolutely nothing, and he's making this soup, and so he has no ingredients but water. And so he goes to, I don't know, all these different people of the village. This is probably totally wrong, people, so don't kill me. But anyway, and he's like, I'm making this delicious soup, and it's almost completely perfect. And the only thing it's missing is, and then like says something
Steak.
or asks for something. And they're like, oh, okay. And he's like, as soon as it's, complete or whatever, I'll let you try it. I think this is what it is. Anyhow, so they give him the one ingredient. And then he goes to somebody else and says, I have this delicious soup, and it's the best soup in the world, and it's missing one thing, and all it needs is this. And they give him the one thing, and then so on and so forth. So he asks all these different people of the village for one item, and then ends up making, it's the stone of it, dummy. Yeah, so he starts with he calls it stone soup, and all he has is water and a stone, but adds all these ingredients from all these different people and makes this delicious, delicious soup.
So here's a problem with the story. I like it. It's cute. Mm-hmm. But it kind of seems like he's deceiving other people. And I kind of get the gist of, hey, it takes a village, hey, if everybody just pitches in just a little bit, then we can have a lot and something great. I get it. But he's lying to them. He's lying right to their face. Hey, I just need this one ingredient from you. Mm-hmm. Hey, everybody, I just need $10 from you. Send me $10 and I'm going to make this podcast wonderful. You can donate at 217recovery.com. That's all I need, just $10 from you.
Okay, so I was right, but I was wrong. So it's a folk tale, right? And it's 3 soldiers making a soup using water and stones.
Okay.
Each villager, I was right about the village, each villager contributes an ingredient to the stone, creating a feast.
Okay, so it's more like
that was just Wikipedia's little blurb. It's actually a long story.
You got to throw some soldiers in there.
I guess so.
Like, hey, it's like writing a country song. You got to add Jesus in there somewhere. So then the villagers say, oh, those poor soldiers over there just having stone soup. Let's everybody just give them something. That's way different.
Yeah.
So I take back my critique of the story that you had told. That wasn't 100% accurate.
Hey, I'm drawing from memory from it's probably been 30 years.
I had never heard of it.
Okay, well then.
So,
yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. We believe that's what Adam and Sean are doing with the Stone Soup Recovery Podcast.
I like it.
I like it too. I listened to it, and it's something that he approached me with like a couple of years ago. He's like, man, I want to start one, bro. And he was going to call it the Blind Cow.
Yeah.
And I made him a logo, and it was all right. He really liked that. But then it wasn't the right time for him. But then when I listened to him and Sean, his significant other, and I can't say it reminded me of what we do, but it was just like, kind of unscripted, but just real, you know, and you could just kind of sense the realness of it, and the stuff that they were saying I could relate to. So I liked it. So check it out.
Cool.
Check it out. I do want to give some shout outs though. I want to say congratulations to Ari. Ari sent me a message the other day and said, hey, it was a year ago today that you were driving me home from treatment, and I got a year.
That's awesome.
So I was like, that's awesome. And Ari said, big fan of the podcast. I said, thank you. Actually, you were like, you make sure you write back and say thank you, and that means a lot, because it really does.
It really does. It truly does. And we want to hear about everybody's milestones for sure. And if this helps anybody who's listening, then we're doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, Ari, I think if I remember the trip right, was just glad that treatment arrived and not like the side of my door again. I was taking the corners a little fast, I think, that day. if my memory
I'm not
serves me right.
surprised.
I didn't see a speed limit sign, so I was going, and it was roads can be twisty, turny. But anyway, congratulations on your year, Ari.
Yes, congratulations.
1 year. It's a big deal. Now it's going to fly by. So just keep it up. And also to Cynthia. Cynthia had her 3 years, and I believe you know Cynthia.
I know Cynthia, and she's a wonderful human being. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's great. Congrats. She's an awesome artist. She's sweet.
Yep.
You know, we were kind of in the same boat, like in terms of like while we were in treatment together, like both of us were just like, I've had enough. Like, I'm not here to like dilly dally and, you know, all this BS with all, you know, the stupid rehab, you know, just silliness. And I mean, it's not like we didn't have fun. It was just like, we both of us wanted to get out of it what we were there for. And I could tell that about her. So I'm super excited that she's doing well. And I've kept up with her on Facebook, and yeah, she's doing great. I
told her that. I was like, you rock. I put on her because she was like, yeah, I got 3 years today. That was a few days ago, but still, congratulations, Cynthia. Congratulations, Ari. And I also want to say thanks to Rachel, Justin, and Callie. They have started birthday fundraisers on Facebook.
Aww.
For 217 Recovery.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Justin. And everybody else. Rachel, Callie. I just said Justin because Justin's kind of part of the crew.
So are you, and you do it for your birthday.
I know. I think I raised like $8 last year.
Yeah.
It was like $28. I don't know. It wasn't a lot. But I put my maximum at like $217,000.
Yeah.
Why not?
That's a little off-putting, probably.
Why not? Why not? I just need $10 from everybody to make this soup. This podcast soup. That's all I'm trying to do. No. But yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate
thank you very much. It's very sweet.
So today, I had to go to the doctors again. And see, this is part of it. When you're in recovery, you have to face the doctor. And you have to face, they say, the music. You know, with the gallbladder, drinking didn't help that. With this stomach issue that I've been going through, drinking didn't help it. You know, and I'm coming up in December. I'll have 4 years clean. Mm-hmm. But it's the repercussions from the 20 plus years of drinking that it takes its toll. Yeah. And it's like, oh, but I'm sober now. Things are supposed to be great. And my body's... I lucked out. You know, I'm still alive. So I just kind of have to take it as, yep, like that's part of it. And now did drinking cause the stuff that's going on now? It didn't help it. You know, I don't know if it was brought on by drinking. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's called
paresis.
Yeah. Something.
Gastroparesis.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that could be brought on by a few different things. And I'm thinking it's like an ulcer or acid reflux, but it could be the colon cancers. And we're going to go, at least, well, not we're going to go, but you're going to go with me.
Yeah, I'm going
in November, I'm going to have my first colonoscopy.
Yeah.
I say that with a smile. You can probably hear me smiling as I say it. Yep. It'll be fun. And I listened to The Ticket out of Dallas, great radio station. And one of the guys recently had to have one again. He's like 10, 15 years older than I am. And he said the colonoscopy, like that part of it isn't bad, whatever. You're asleep.
Yeah.
But the whole cleansing out your colon, like to get it as clean as it was, or actually probably has ever been in my life.
Right.
Like that's the part that doesn't sound fun. And then when I was scheduling it with the lady in the office, she was like, yeah, well, it's not that bad. Just make sure you're not too far from a toilet. I was like, you can't even say that in the same sentence. Like, it's not that bad. Just make sure you're not too far from a toilet. Like, no. And then I said to her, I was like, because sometimes I'm in there praying to Jesus to make it stop. Like, please, Lord, just, we've all been there. She's like, make it stop. Like, oh my God, as long as that's last. And she's like, oh, no, it's not like that.
Oh, did you do that invitation to the lady at the desk?
Yep. And she's like, no. Because I guess she had something similar done, or I guess the same exact thing done. And she says it's not like she just said, ooh, you just got to go now.
I wonder how many people in the general public come home from their day and talk about the conversations that they have with you. Like, it's just a stranger.
This guy today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's wearing this 217 recovery shirt.
I'm sure it's a lot of people.
And she saw the 217 recovery shirt, and she was asking me about it. And then she started talking about her daughter, and she's like, oh, I must have had to drive down to Georgia today because she fell off the wagon. I'm like, oh, just today? She's like, yeah, I almost didn't come in. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Because my mom had to jump on a plane to come to Fort Smith, get my ass like that once. So
yeah.
She's like, no, I would have had to drive. And I was like, whoa. But that's why she was asking me about that. So, yeah, I don't know. If she did talk about me with her family, at least maybe she could have worked in the 217 recovery. She said she was going to check us out. So
good.
And she was a fun lady. But, yeah, I mean, that's how I talk to people. I mean, I don't know. But I did say that. And she said it's not going to be that bad. So I think it won't be that bad. But the guy on the ticket, he just said, get the wet wipes. He's like, I don't know if there's a toilet paper brand strong enough for what you're going to need when it starts coming out. And then she said, because I'm having it at like, I think 11 o'clock, so it won't be that bad. But she said there'll be a point where in the middle of the night, I'll have to get up and take a dose. So I don't know if I have to wait around an hour and then be like, oh, Lord, make it stop. But hopefully it's not that bad.
Hopefully it's not that bad.
And my doctor, and she was like, oh, well, you could probably use one anyway. You're about that age. And I was like, what? I thought it was 50. She's like, 45. I'm like, but I'm not 45. She's like, meh, close enough.
No,
we got to have this done.
No,
like,
the reason why I think it's important just because we're trying to get the stomach thing overall figured out. And we need to cross off the list things that it is not.
I wonder if anybody's ever said when they go to do the anesthesia or whatever, they're like, no, doc, I'll be awake for this. I wonder if anybody, I might be the first person. I might just say it.
What do you think? Really?
Like, whoa, what are we doing with that? I heard that kill you. Let's just get it over with. I wonder how bad. I wonder if it hurts really bad.
Well, they don't put you to sleep for no reason.
Well, I've heard that some professions have fetishes. You haven't heard that?
No.
Oh, maybe
never heard that.
I saw it online. I think it was like fetishes of doctors or jobs or something. So that's why they put you to sleep, maybe.
Oh, Corey.
Gotta be careful. It's like other stuff we were looking at today and trying to pick out other doctors. I'm like, I don't know if I trust that guy. Because we watched some messed up shows on television.
Uh-huh.
And let's just say it was a true life story. It wasn't in Indiana or something, or Ohio, one of those stupid states that I'm not a big fan of. Unless you live there, I'm sorry. You should move. Unless you like it, then hey, you're right where you need to be. But this doctor, it was in Indianapolis, I think. He was one of those pregnancy doctors. Or like you go see him, and he would, I don't know if they would bring their loved ones, little soldiers, we'll call them, the guys, the little soldiers. and they're supposed to put them soldiers with the ladies' stuff, and then it makes it into a baby. That's how you should tell it to your kids when you talk about sex. They'll be like, what are you talking about, man? Just what? Anyway, the doctor was like, oh yeah, I'll be right back. And then he was going off, twisting one off. And then he had like all these freaking kids, like 80 of them.
Yeah, it was like 80.
And like they didn't find out for like 20 years. So like people raised these kids as theirs, and then they're this dude's offspring. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's still alive.
I know. It's a very disturbing story.
Somebody would have taken him fishing.
Something wrong with you with that guy.
Yeah. So makes me wonder. I don't know. Hopefully my colonoscopy doctor's good though. I think he's. Do
you think he has another agenda? Is that what you mean?
I don't think so. He's not going to want much to do with my bottom. He's going to want to be in and out. And I told the lady too. I was like, can you imagine that being your job? Like, oh, what do we got Friday? Oh, Friday. God. Oh, another colonoscopy. Like, it seems like that would ruin my day. I told her, like, why would you get out of bed? Because some doctors get up early too, man.
All doctors that seem like get up early.
I don't know how they do it.
I'm thinking like, what time did you go to bed last night? Didn't I ask that at one point?
You had your back surgery.
Yeah.
I asked the
when
doctor.
Do you get to go? When you go to sleep?
Did you get a good night's sleep? Did you get a good breakfast this morning?
Yeah.
Because you just never know. But that would suck to see that on your schedule. Got going on today. You know, so think about that.
That's like all those doctors do,
which you're not doing today.
That's all those doctors do.
Colonoscopies, that's not all he does.
No?
No, because the guy who's doing mine, actually, he came and saw me at the hospital when I was in there for the gallbladder stuff.
I thought they were like specialists.
There were, but he was one of them. But what do they call it? Moonlights. He moonlights in colonoscopies. No, it's a little side gig. See, maybe it is a fetish. Ah! Pray for me. Moment of silence right now for people to pray for me. Okay. Thank you. Just a short one, just real quick. G's a big fan, so he knows. But yeah. Recovery. Going to the doctor, finding these things out, and then don't beat yourself up if something's bad. I know a lot of people deal with pancreatitis pain, stuff like that from their drinking, and don't beat yourself up, but do what you can to take care of it till not experience the pain as much as you can and move on,
Yeah.
That's it. That's all we can do.
And ignoring or avoiding
or
doctors is not the answer.
Well,
just because you're like, I've already effed up my body back in the day, still, make sure everything's all on the up and up.
So I could see where people would be like, get a couple years clean and, oh yeah, go to the doctor. The doctor's like, boom, we got to give you a colonoscopy, check some stuff out, and you start freaking yourself out and you're like, or maybe you do have cancer, and you're like, oh no, like a friend of mine that I went through treatment with last time, he's like, oh, I got cancer. What does it matter? F it. I'm like, well, it matters for your kids. It matters for you. Like, do you want to go out like that? Like a drunken mess? Like you remember what you were, And he's like, well, but it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to go out like that. And pray, trust God, and not everybody dies from cancer.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not an easy thing to be told, I'm sure, or to have happen, but you can't justify it. Well, might as well just treat myself to death then, because remember that wasn't very, very fun.
And the whole idea about living in recovery is, looking at life through like a different lens and, valuing yourself and doing the next right thing and keeping focus and remembering, why you're doing what you're doing to live a better life. And that's part of it.
Yep.
And you're going to face some hard stuff and you're going to have difficult decisions and there's going to be sadness and there's going to be anger and there's going to be letdown. But there's also going to be 8 million times more awesomeness that's going to happen aside from that.
Yeah. For real. Trust us. So don't use those bad things that, the doctor told, don't use that as an excuse. That's what I'm saying. And get those checkups done.
Yeah.
Stay on top of it. Something that I know I sure as hell didn't do until it was like, I can't breathe. I can't move.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, that's the only time I really went to the doctor. If I would go to the yearly checkup, and everybody can agree with me that those are kind of a joke. You get your physical, at least the ones that I went through. Oh, how's it going? Great. Okay, cool. And like the doctor in Arkansas that I had, he'd be like, I want to talk about the Beatles. Oh, I'm like, okay, yep, everything's cool. See ya. Peace out. Like, I remember back in the day, you had to like bend down, touch your toes or something, or do a squat, or I don't remember, cough maybe. But no, how's it going? Cool. All right, see ya. I'm not telling the doctor, oh yeah, drinking about fifth a day,
Right.
100 proof.
That was my biggest thing, is I didn't want my drinking to be confronted.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, you're going to do blood tests? Wait, why? for what?
To see
Cholesterol? I don't know. Is that it? Like, it's, so I just didn't want to go.
One time, I kept hearing these commercials, and they're like, "Is your arm numb? Do you have this and that? Does your chest hurt?" I'm like, "Yeah." I kept hearing it over and over. I'm like, "Damn it! I think I'm having a heart attack." And I was having severe withdrawals right then too, like around that time of the day when I'd be hearing this and feeling this, and I'm like, "Damn!" And I looked at my coworker Steve, and I'm like, "Steve, man, you hear that?" He's like, "Yeah, it's about a heart attack. Well, you having one?" I'm like, "I think I might be. Should probably go get that looked at." Okay. So I went to the emergency room. Like, I might be having a heart attack. And I felt like it, like it was a hardcore withdrawal detox. And at that time I didn't know, I mean, I had just started shaking in the afternoons and stuff. And I thought, oh, damn.
So you have a heart attack around 2:00 every day?
Yeah.
That's what you were thinking?
Uh-huh. So I go in there and they like hooked me up to these machines and stuff. And then they were going to draw my blood. I remember the nurse came over to my right side and I was laying down in one of those beds and she grabs my arm and it was shaking so bad. And she's just I just remember the look of like, whoa. And she's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No, I think I'm having a heart attack." And she's like, "You're not having a heart attack. We did all that stuff already." And I was like, "Oh." And she went and got the doctor, and the doctor came in and he's like, how much do you drink a night? I was like, "Oh, about a beer or two." He's like, "No, you drink more than a beer or two." I was like, usually, I don't know, about a pint and a couple beers. He's like, "No." It's like, it's okay to talk about it. And he really was cool about it. And you could tell that he seemed concerned. I didn't know this guy, but he must have had or might have had family members or seen people die from this. And I just remember the look on his face too was just like sadness almost. And he's
Concern.
like, like when you drink a lot, your body, he started explaining it to me, to go through withdrawals. And usually you have to drink a lot of alcohol for a number of years sometimes. And he's like, but it doesn't always have to be like that. It's different for different people, and I just don't think that's all you're drinking, a night. And I was like, well, sometimes, I don't know, maybe a little bit more. I'm not sure. But, last night, and I always did that. Well, last night or last couple of nights, football's on or whatever excuses I was making. And he still just kind of wasn't buying it. And he's like, well, I'm going to leave some literature here about alcoholism and there's some AA pamphlets with some meetings and stuff. And I just, well, I'm good. So you throw all that crap away. That's what I thought. I'll just throw this crap away. But I felt, and he did a really good job of not making me feel judged, but I still felt like, oh, no.
I was found out.
Not me. I'm not an alcoholic. Those are bad people.
Well, granted, they're medical people, so that's that piece, but you're just like, I'm not tricking everyone anymore.
Right.
I didn't say anything, and they knew.
And the other doctor, when I was in the hospital for that other stuff, he was just like, how long you been an alcoholic? Yeah, I'm not. He's like, no, you are. I've seen your liver. I had a good month. Okay, yeah, you might have had a good month, but no, that damage has been done. How long you been alcoholic?
Oh.
I was just stuttering. I don't know.
Well, that's terrible bedside manner.
I know. I think, but that doctor, he didn't like. They thought I was gonna die, so they didn't really care. He just wanted to know. I don't know. Like that was like just real blunt. He was one of those blunt doctors. That guy was. Mm-hmm. Just here's the facts. Okay. I'm gonna try to fix you, but it's probably not gonna work. Huh? This is something you don't want to hear a doctor tell you. I'm sorry, what? Like the nurses must like me. They're just all so nice. Like, no, because they thought that was the last time they were going to see you. They thought your ass was going to die.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was a hard one. That was probably worse than the deer hunting. When I put all that together, that I'd never really shot a deer. Got bamboozled. I have to tell that story coming up. Deer hunting season's coming up. Of course, it's bow season now. But November 15th, when gun season comes around, I'll retell that story.
You're going to retell it?
Yep.
Exactly how you remember it? You're going to add some stuff?
I don't add anything. It's the same story every time.
Is it, though?
Yeah.
I've heard it a couple times.
Because you listen to it over.
No, not that.
You can go back and listen to it from last year. If you want.
No,
or you
I'll
can
hear it
wait
again.
for this year's.
I love that story. Maybe you should do it. Maybe you should webcam it.
Why? Because
you get out your pretend machine gun or your pretend rifle. And you
Brad Pitt
and you're lining it up.
Movie.
Yeah. Good times.
It was Rambo. But yeah, that was good. But let's keep it short tonight. But tomorrow, I can't wait to talk about this. It was a story. My sister sent me a story about one of her friends going to prison. And I think I took this girl somewhere. I think she showed up at my sister's house and she needed a ride or something. But I was in and out of recovery at that moment. But I remember talking to her and I was like, recovery is pretty cool. And she's like, But she was like, I don't know, 15 years younger than me. So whatever I was saying, I was just the old man telling her, don't be drinking. But I was going through it too. And she knew I was going through it too. But yeah, bad stuff happened. But there was some stuff that was said by the judge. And then as I was reading her story, I read this other story. This woman downstate.
Go ahead.
She was having relations with a boy. He was 14.
Oh.
Yeah. But there's more to the story. And you'll find out tomorrow on the episode marked 10/22/22.
Nice.
There you go. That's a good tease. That's what we call that.
It is good tease.
No, but for real, you'll be interested to hear that one. That's all I gotta say. Like, okay, I'm not saying that's bad. Okay, you shouldn't have sex with kids. Like I don't care if it's a woman and a boy or whatever. Because some dudes are like, man, she's hot. That's not. I'm not saying that there's anything right about that at all. But the judge had some things to say, and I just don't think judges should say stuff like that.
Yeah, now I really want to hear the rest of that story.
Find out tomorrow. Thanks for listening. But yeah, you will find out tomorrow. Thanks for listening and share it with your friends. Check out the Stone Soup Recovery Podcast. Go find it. I know it's on Spreaker. I don't know if he's published it to other places yet, but check it out there. And I'll let you as well.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Win a bunch of free shit from 217 Recovery. Go to the app or the website, 217recovery.com.